ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ 12. अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. In this verse, Arjuna is asking Krishna a question. He wants to know which kind of devotee is better, the one who worships a personal form of God or the one who focuses on the formless, invisible aspect of God. Arjuna is curious to understand which path leads to better spiritual progress, loving devotion to God or focusing on the formless. This verse teaches us that there are different ways to connect with God, and Arjuna is trying to find out which one is the best for true wisdom. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Mayyaveshya Mano Ye Man Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yuktatama Matah. In this verse, Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's question. He says that the best way to practice devotion is to keep the mind focused on Him. Krishna explains that those who worship Him with deep faith and stay connected to Him every day are the best in yoga, the path of spiritual practice. This verse teaches us that loving God and thinking about Him all the time with full faith is the best way to grow spiritually. It shows that true devotion comes from a strong heart and a mind fixed on God. ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं परयुपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यै च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्. In this verse, Lord Krishna talks about another type of worship. Some people do not worship a visible form of God. Instead, they focus on the formless, invisible aspect of God, which cannot be seen or described. This formless God is everywhere, never changes, and is always steady and eternal. This verse teaches us that some people prefer to think of God as something beyond what we can see or understand, like a force that is always present but cannot be imagined. Worshipping this kind of God takes a lot of concentration and deep thinking. Sanniyamyendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite ratah. In this verse, Krishna talks about the qualities of people who worship the formless God. He says that these people control their senses and treat everyone equally, no matter who they are. They also care about the well-being of all living beings. Because of these qualities, they too can reach God. This verse teaches us that having self-control, treating everyone fairly, and helping others are important to connect with God, whether you worship a form of God or the formless. क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. In this verse, Lord Krishna explains that it is harder for people to worship the formless God. Since we live in physical bodies and use our senses, it's difficult to focus on something we cannot see or imagine. This makes it more challenging for those who try to worship the invisible aspect of God. This verse teaches us that worshipping the formless is a tough path because humans naturally connect more with things they can see or experience. It takes a lot of effort to focus on something that is beyond our senses. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन Mandhyayanta upasate. In this verse, Krishna talks about the people who worship Him with full devotion. These people offer all their actions to God and think of Him all the time. They meditate on Him with complete focus and don't let their minds wander to anything else. This verse teaches us that the best way to connect with God is by dedicating everything we do to Him and always keeping Him in our thoughts. When we love God with full concentration without thinking about anything else, we grow closer to Him. Teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्. In this verse, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that he personally saves his devotees from the cycle of life and death. Those who focus their minds completely on Krishna and trust in him are quickly rescued from the struggles of this world, which is compared to a deep ocean. This verse teaches us that when we deeply connect with God and put our faith in him, he helps us overcome the difficulties of life. Krishna promises to protect and guide those who love him with all their heart. मय्येव मनाधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वन्न संशयः. In this verse, Krishna advises Arjuna to focus his mind and thoughts completely on him. Krishna says that if Arjuna can place both his heart and mind in Krishna, he will always be connected to God and live in him without any doubt. This verse teaches us that by keeping our thoughts and mind focused on God, we will feel close to him. Krishna assures us that if we do this, we will stay connected with him and he will guide us. It's a promise of spiritual closeness. अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. In this verse, Krishna gives Arjuna another option. If Arjuna finds it difficult to keep his mind focused on God all the time, he should practice regularly through meditation, prayer or yoga to improve his focus. Krishna encourages him to keep trying and working towards reaching God. This verse teaches us that it's okay if we can't always stay focused on God. By practicing daily and trying again and again, we can eventually become better at it. With regular effort, we can grow closer to God. अभ्यासेऽप्य समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि. In this verse, Krishna gives another option. If Arjuna finds it difficult to practice focusing on God, he should do good actions for God's sake. This means helping others, doing good deeds, and working with God in mind. By doing this, Arjuna can also reach perfection. This verse teaches us that if we struggle with meditation or focus, we can still connect with God by doing kind and helpful actions for the benefit of others. Working with the thought of God in mind is another way to grow spiritually. अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मध्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागन् ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. In this verse, Krishna offers one more option. He says that if Arjuna cannot practice meditation or do actions for God's sake, he should still try to let go of the results of his action. This means doing his duties without worrying about what he will get from them. This verse teaches us that it's okay if we can't do everything perfectly. We can still connect with God by doing our work and not getting attached to the outcomes. By focusing on our actions and letting go of their results, we can find peace and grow spiritually. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासाच् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागस् त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्. In this verse, Krishna explains the different paths to spiritual growth. He says that understanding is the best because it helps know God. Practice of doing good actions is the next best thing, and the meditation is important too. However, when we let go of the results of our actions, we find peace right away. This verse teaches us that while all these paths are valuable, having knowledge is the highest. By learning and understanding, we can make better choices. And when we give up the attachments to the results of our actions, we can feel calm and peace. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrah karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankaras In this verse, Krishna describes the qualities of a true devotee. He says that someone who does not hate others, is friendly and kind, doesn't feel possessive, and is free from ego, is ready for spiritual freedom. This person treats happiness and sadness equally. This verse teaches us that to grow spiritually, we should develop good qualities like kindness, compassion, and a sense of equality towards everyone. When we let go of anger and selfishness, we become closer to God and ready for liberation. Santushtas satatan yogi यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर् यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः. In this verse, Krishna explains what makes a devotee special. He says that a person who is always content, has strong determination, controls their senses, and dedicates their thoughts and intelligence to God is very dear to him. This verse teaches us that being happy with what we have, being disciplined, and focusing our mind on God are important qualities for a true devotee. When we level up these qualities, we become closer to Krishna and earn His love. यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यस्य च मे प्रियः. In this verse, Krishna describes another quality of his beloved devotees. He says that a person who remains calm and does not get disturbed by the world around them and does not disturb others is dear to him. This person is free from emotions like joy, anger, fear, and anxiety. This verse teaches us the importance of being peaceful and stable in all situations. When we stay calm and do not let our emotions control us, we can connect more deeply with God and show love to everyone around us. Anapekshah shuchirdaksha udasino gatavyatah sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha. In this verse, Krishna talks about more qualities of his dear devotees. He says that a person who has no expectations, is pure in heart, skillful in actions, calm and free from worries, and who lets go of all plans and efforts is very precious to him. This verse teaches us that to be close to God, we should try to be content without expecting anything in return, maintain purity in our thoughts and actions, and stay calm and relaxed. When we let go of unnecessary worries and focus on serving God, we become dear to Him. Yo na rishyati na dveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhakti manyasa me priyaha. In this verse, Krishna describes another important quality of his dear devotees. He says that a person who does not get overly excited or angry, who does not cry or feel sad, and who does not wish for anything is very precious to him. This person has given up attachment to both good and bad outcomes. This verse teaches us that to connect with God, we should learn to stay balanced in our feelings. When we don't let our emotions control us and we remain calm and steady, we can truly serve God with love and devotion. This peaceful state makes us dear to Krishna. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoh शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु samasanga vivarjitaha. In this verse, Krishna explains how a true devotee should treat others and react to different situations. He says that a person who treats friends and enemies the same, remains balanced in praise and blame, and stays calm in both comfort and discomfort is very dear to him. This person is free from attachment to outcomes and relationships. This verse teaches us the importance of equality and balance. When we learn to treat everyone the same, regardless of how they treat us, and remain steady in all situations, we can connect more deeply with God. This calmness and equality in our hearts makes us dear to Krishna. Tulyaninda sutirmauni santushto yena kenachit aniketastiramate bhaktiman me priyo naraha. In this verse, Krishna describes more qualities of his dear devotees. He says that a person who treats criticism and praise equally, remains quiet and happy with whatever life brings, does not cling to a particular situation or a place, and has a steady mind is very precious to him. This verse teaches us the importance of being content and balanced in all situations. When we learn to accept life as it is without getting too excited or upset, and when we don't get attached to material things like our homes, we can connect more deeply with God. This peaceful attitude makes us dear to Krishna. Ye tu dharmyamritamidai yathoktam paryupasate shraddhadhana matparama bhaktastetiva me priyah. In this verse, Krishna speaks about his most beloved devotees. He says that those who worship him with strong faith and follow the teachings of righteousness that he has shared are very dear to him. This verse teaches us that having faith and devotion while following the right path is very important. When we sincerely practice the teachings of God and keep our faith strong, we become closer to Krishna. Our devotion and commitment to righteousness make us precious to Him. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Bhakti Yoga Nam Dvadashodhyayah. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.